Hey everybody, how you doing today? Hope everybody's doing good. I'm gonna head over here to the chat, see how we're doing for the hangout today. Oh, let's see, Josh and Evan. David's here. Both Evans are here. Kevin's here. All right. T-shirt color today. I think we stayed away from blue. We stayed away from pink. Yep, it's white today. No Star Wars, no blue today. Now what guitar? This guitar is the one that's in this room right now. So this is my guitar with really light strings on it. So I'm having a good time. Awesome. Wonderful to see everybody in the chat today. Hope your week was as good as it could possibly be. John's here. Hey, John, good to see you. We're going to do a little talking today. I got some new gear. I'm going through my new Panasonic camera, my Lumix G7. So we're going to do a little test between. Also got my old webcam hooked up, and as much as you can do with this background right here. But we'll see what the difference is between the two. We're going to talk about doing some guitar news today. Chris was very cool and helped us out with a bunch of guitar news stuff. I've got a little bit too that I have from some of the Gibson things that I get. And we're going to also talk about some coaching. Got that opened up and ready to go for the people who are interested in coaching. A few of you have already signed up already, which is pretty cool. And so a lot of different things today. I'm glad you're all here. Evan says, ooh, new camera. That's right. New stuff, man. So this past week, when we recorded the podcast on Monday, I had the camera going in the background. Didn't realize I had it on 4K. So file sizes were really huge, but all three of the videos that I put out when I split the podcast up into three went up to YouTube in 4K this week, which I could care less about the quality of it, but it's just the fact that YouTube tends to push videos that are in 4K videos a little bit more. So just trying to get a little bit of attention with the algorithm there. So let's head over. Let's see what the difference is. I'm going to go right now on the Panasonic. I'm going to go back to my regular camera right now. I don't really know. It'll be let's see. So here's the regular camera. This is my my Logitech right here. It's a little less bright. I can see on my screen both of them at the same time right now. It's a little less detailed, and colors are about the same, everything like that, just a little less detail. And it's a little more zoomed in too. I'll go back to the other one. Yeah, so if I didn't have the beige wall in the background, and I had some stuff back there, I think you'd really be able to tell the difference. It would blur out the background more and everything. So I may just have to get one of these silly backgrounds from Amazon, make it look like I've got some really cool wood walls behind me or something like that. I may do that this weekend. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So here we are. Today we're going to talk about a little guitar news stuff. Well, I just wanted to, it's good enough just to have a hangout on Fridays, but I thought having a little theme to them, have something else going on too. And I like the guitar news stuff. I did that in the podcast early on, and I enjoy doing that. And then also I enjoy talking about gear too. So maybe not this week, but by next week, I'd like to incorporate both of those into our Hangouts as well. So this, I'm going to see if I can show you. Let's see here. See what you guys saying. Evan says it's a little fuzzier. David says big difference. Cool. And much brighter for David. Evan says green screen. Present from wherever you want. If you in the thumbnails for the videos this week, I just couldn't take another thumbnail with with this wall behind it. So I cut out the pictures and put pictures of my old studio behind it, and then kind of blued it out so it wasn't so obvious. So, but David says new camera sharper picture, and Josh says, hey, the blurred lights city back. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll pick something. I want something darker. Just because I think that would look a little bit nicer. So I don't know. While I'm stuck in this apartment, I think I don't have any of my stuff here to put anything interesting in the background. So I think maybe I'll have to break down and buy one of those. One of those things. But anyway, the quality's getting better. It should be helping with YouTube, putting it out a little bit more. Thumbnails I've been working on too. Been putting a lot of work into the YouTube stuff. So I want to show you. Let's see here. I'll get it set up for you. Working on a logo, calling it Play Guitar News for now. So let me see if I can share that with you. Okay, so this is the logo. I guess we're just going to kind of go over what you guys think about this idea. And so my general idea is we have some guitar news for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that. And then we do a hangout afterwards. At least give us some topics to talk about, those things. So there's the logo right there that I was working on today. And this is over on Canva, which I've been using a lot lately. I have a couple different publishing programs, but Canva's so easy, and they update stuff a lot. Lots of updated fonts. So that's what I'm working with there. I don't know. It looks okay. Good enough. And we're going to go through some stuff today with some gear. There's a lot of gear that's been put out during all of this coronavirus stuff. And Gibson's got a new TV, a live streaming thing that I would like to talk about. They've got a lot of cool stuff coming out on that too that I don't think a lot of people know about. I hadn't heard about it. So let's check the chat before we get it. So Brennan's here. Good to see you, Brennan. And there's Coke. He's here just keeping quiet. Hope you're doing good, man. Thanks for hanging out last week. That was fun. Okay, so let's do a little guitar news here. So the first thing we have is ESP harkens back to its roots with the LTD 87 series. So we've got some new, old, shredding type guitars going on. Let's see here. There's a couple. Let's get all of the new guitar stuff together. There's a slide. We're going to talk about a guitar knob. We're talking about. Okay, so we'll get the gear stuff up front. I'm gonna read it. Okay, so ESP Guitars has launched the LTD 87 series. It's a lineup of electric guitars that recreate and pay homage to the brand's mid-80 instrument models. Not easy to say. Series includes the LTD Mirage Deluxe 87, the Custom 87, and the Eclipse 87. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Right there. There we go. So I remember seeing these kind of Jackson type and gosh, that Telecaster type I've seen before too. Really cool stuff. This style here, this pink one with the Floyd Rose and with that that angled neck pickup was really popular. Not the pink. I didn't see it in pink a whole lot, but that style I saw for years. Where I grew up, there was a lot of metal going on when I was playing guitar. So let's check it out. Pastel shred machine. Awesome. That's good. And it's got a distortion. Was it a Duncan distortion? TB6. So the T means the trembucker, so it's a little bit wider. And push pull knob and Floyd Rose for dive. And I don't see a price. I guess they're holding off on the prices. So that'd be pretty cool. I like this. I like the Tele LTDs. I like that shape, that with the more metal headstock. I think those are pretty cool too. And that's a non-trim. And then here you've got your classic, Super Strat ESP there. And they're all using the Duncan distortion in the bridge, which is, really pushes a little bit there. So those are neat. I like those. Let's take a look here at the next one. Let's see here. The next one we're going to play. Okay, taking care of something in the chat here. There we go. Mark is here. Long-time listener, first time watching live YouTube. Wonderful to have you here, Mark. Thanks for hanging out. I'm just doing a little news today. That was pretty neat. That ESP is pretty cool. Now I'm going to go to the next one. Looks pretty neat too. This is Grez Guitars unveils the Smuggler's Bridge Folsom, a guitar made from 1,000-year-old reclaimed redwood. It's a limited run, Honduran mahogany neck, ebony fingerboard, and custom bridge and pickup options. And the bridge, located in a remote area of Humboldt County in Northern California, was built from first growth redwood trees. And I guess they repurposed that. Let's take a look at that real quick. And there we go. So the Smuggler's Bridge Folsom, a guitar from 1,000-year-old reclaimed redwood. Pretty neat. Yep. Add. Is that a Bigsby? Looks like a Bigsby to me. Hey guys, how many of you have tried a Bigsby trim? Have you ever had any luck with them? I've had a hard time with Bigsbys over the years, and it may just be the guitars that I happen to try maybe weren't set up correctly. I'm curious to see if anybody's ever had one, played one, and was able to use it without it going out of tune. For me, as soon as I used them, they went completely out of tune. It's a neat looking guitar, man. It's like a Les Paul Special. And a redwood body. I wonder what a redwood body tone would be like. It's under 7 pounds, and string through Tele bridge and a mastery bridge with a Bigsby or a stainless steel. Well, different types of bridge, and you can use the TV Jones universal mount pickups with that. Oh goodness, 2,880 to 3,180 depending on the configuration. I don't know. What do you think? Pretty cool to me. Pretty cool. All right, so let's check. Okay. Do guitars like the ESP have a flatter radius on the neck? I would think so, man. Most of the shred guitars are pretty flat. They're designed to be as easy to play as you can get. Looks like a Bigsby. Never used one. And Brendan says, I've never tried them, but they look great. Never tried one. Yeah, the Bigsbys look pretty cool, man. I like the way they look. It's got a neat look to them. Every time I've played one, though, the minute I just pressed down on it just a little bit, completely out of tune, and it was tough getting it back. But they're always the one. What I remember about it is that the springs were kind of rusty on them, so it could have been just a junker guitar that I was borrowing at the time. But that's neat. I've never heard of Grez guitars. That should be pretty cool. Okay, so here's something I'll tell you about it real quick. So the next thing we're going to look at is they've brought out the Vibraslide. It combines EBow style sustain. Have you ever played an EBow? Those are really, really cool. With a regular slide. And this is a Kickstarter campaign. And it's sustaining guitar slide, the Vibraslide. It has a hand-blown glass slide as well as a pedal for controlling the resulting sound. So you've got a pedal connected to a slide. Let's see here. Slide's unique design means it can infinitely sustain your strings, much like an EBow, getting you harmonically rich tone inspired by David Gilmour's playing on Dark Side of the Moon. The pedal end of things allows for control of the effects, tone, and sustain. Also features an effects loop for adding your own sound to that sustained sound. Pretty neat. He also notes that putting a volume pedal in the loop allows you to bring the sustain effect on top of your original sound, and then you can actually add a wah there in the loop as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. This looks pretty cool. All right. So there it is, the Vibraslide. And it looks like a Univibe pedal. So maybe a Univibe pedal uses a light, an opto sensor to do the coursing. I wonder if, and it looks like on the slide itself it's lit up too. I wonder if that has something to do with it. Pretty neat, man. So they've got this on a lap steel guitar. We got a video there. Initial funding goal of £2,000 has already been reached. Awesome. That's pretty neat, man. Let's see what they got here.
Hi there, my name is Gareth Whittock and this is Vibraslide.
Let's hear it a little bit. Very cool, man.
The Vibraslide system consists of a hand-blown glass slide and a controller pedal.
That's neat.
Plug your guitar and the slide into the pedal controller, turn it on, and sustain your sound for as long as you like. Press the right foot switch for harmonic modes. Plug in
So it feeds
pedal
back
to
a little
the
bit
effects
on
insert
that.
to
That's
bring the effect in as subtly as you like, without changing your original guitar.
Oh man, that's cool. Now that is something I could really use. That is neat. The only thing I see that might be a problem with that would be that the cord coming out of that slide might get a little might be a little tough to deal with. That's the only thing. And I guess when he was playing it, he had the cord coming out above the top string of the guitar. Maybe on electric you could turn it around the other way so that the cord is dangling to the ground. I don't know. That looks neat, man. You can control the effects, tones, the sustain, also effects loop for adding your own sound. I know, that's pretty cool, man. Has anybody seen that before? At least has anybody seen this on videos of it before? Because I don't think it's out. It's still on Kickstarter right now. Okay, so let me head on back here. Okay. Evan says, my brother almost bought me an Ebo for Christmas. And then Evan says, if flatter fretboards are good for shredding, what are more curved fretboards better for? Well, more curve is traditionally thought of as better for chord work. And it's kind of the way your hand enjoys playing chords. On a flatter neck, it feels more spread out. It's a little more difficult to play. If you've ever played a classical guitar open position chords, you really have to get your hand out in front there. So a more curved, it kind of takes to grabbing the guitar neck, which is a natural kind of thing to do there. So the standard thinking is a curved fretboard is easier to play chords. A flatter one is easier to play notes and bend strings. When you have too much of a curve and you bend a string across, it will fret out on the curved part above it on the fretboard. And you see a lot of luthiers, a lot of fancier guitars will have a curved radius at the top, and then it gradually flattens out as you get farther down the neck. And that's supposed to make it easier to bend notes and to play fast up top, but to feel good playing chords. I have one. I have a it's called a compound radius neck, and I have it's a WD neck. It was a replacement neck for one of my guitars, and it's really nice. It's really neat. You get used to, like, the happy medium is the 9. Was it 9 1/4? The Fender, modern Fender radius, which is all the way across, and it's flat enough and curved enough. It's kind of right in the middle. But if you've ever played a vintage, which is was it 7 1/4? I forget exactly what it is, but it's really round. And man, playing up high notes, hard to do, man. Really tough. Lots of good slide on Dark Side. This sure is. And he says the curved radius are better for chords. 7 1/4, 9 1/2. That's what it is. I'll raise next, but feel the curve of the hand better for chording. How much? Let's check it out. Let's see here. Let me find it. Vibraslide. Let's see how much. Looking it up. Okay, so the Kickstarter for the Vibraslide, you can pledge $5, and you just get your name on their website. $20, and it gets you a T-shirt with Vibraslide on it. I'm not $20, 20 pounds, and if you pledge 180 pounds or more, you will be one of the first owners of a Vibraslide system to come off the production line. So 180 pounds ships to anywhere in the world, estimated delivery in November. And then if you go for the top one, we've got 250. So 250 pounds, you get a limited edition system. There's one of only 50. So it looks like it's 180, and should be delivered in November. So it looks like they're getting there. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Here we are. Brennan says it sounds very Gilmore. It does. It does sound very, very neat. And then Evan says, thanks. I think my Strat is a 9.5, so it would fit into that group. Yeah. Yeah. That's where I'm at right now. In fact, my first Strat was the 7.25, and it was tough to play. And then I got a Mexican Strat, which was 9.5, and it was really, really nice. And I thought, man, I'm going to play these Mexican Strats. And I've actually taken that first Strat I had and filed the fretboard down and then put new frets on it. And it just needs to be put the maple stain back on it. Kevin said he thought it would be more too. I thought it would be more too. So that's pretty neat. It's an affordable price on that for a pretty cool sound. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. I think we got one more gear thing to go. So this one is called, it's the world's first click and save guitar knob. It's called the Control Knob, and the name is That Click Classic. Features a switch that instantly saves and recalls your favorite settings. That Click Knob has introduced the That Click Classic, which the company touts as the first knob created to let players easily save and recall a sweet spot with your guitar knob. The S-style replacement knob features a low-profile switch that creates a detent when pressed down or clicked, allowing electric guitar players who, for example, like to roll off tone to quickly return to a favorite setting on their instrument. With the switch pulled out, the knob spins normally. With the switch pushed in, the knob still spins normally, but the player feels a click whenever the knob reaches the spot. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what we got here. Let's take a look. The world's first click and save guitar knob promises to help you hit your electric's tonal sweet spot every time. Well, that's nice. It doesn't look too out of place. It just doesn't have the numbers on there. And the name on the top, tone and volume, doesn't have all that stuff. S-style replacement knob features low profile switch. Oh, okay. I see that. There's the switch. So you pull the switch out. It's normal. Push it in, but you feel it click wherever you set that to. Click knob is a universal fit for most guitars and is compatible with split. Words are tough today. Goodness, split shaft and solid shaft pots, and can be used on both volume or tone. And this is $20.99. Silver switch and gold switch $22.99. You know what? I'm kind of the person that would probably buy that. I'm the guy. I don't see that being let's see. Let's take a look. See. Let's see what they got here. Okay, so not the flashiest thing in the world, but that would be extremely useful live when you're always. I know I'm always trying to get. It's usually my volume. Get that right in the right place for a certain tone. You've got when you set your amps up for a really nice distortion and a nice loud sound, and you roll your volume off for clean, that's just two sounds. But you notice as you start doing that a lot that in between your full open lead sound and where you roll back for clean, there's a lot of these cool kind of, I think of them as like Hendrixy kind of sounds. They're kind of different. I don't know if it's the way the resistance works from the pot there, but there's some really, really neat tones there. And it got to the point I just had tried it for a while and I couldn't play without it after that. A lot of my tones are at like 5.5 or at 7 with a certain pedal and a certain amp setting. So pretty neat. To me, that's a neat idea. Not really a flashy thing. And I think the price is right, $20. Yeah, I'd spend $20 on that. That'd be a fun weekend to get in the garage and get into the guitar. Let's see what you guys think about that. Let's see. Evan was talking about the one before, considering the pedal. That's not a bad price. And EBOs is about $80, I think. And David says, I hate when they show you cool gear and you can't get it for months. That's right. I know, because you're waiting on it. Oops, I got let's see here. Waiting on it for months. Sorry about that, guys. I had the YouTube page up there. That's where I can see the chat. I'm going to try and get my phone working here. It had stopped working for a minute. See if I can get chat back on my phone. That way I don't have to keep switching back and forth. There we go. I got it going now. All right. Now I got the chat back. Okay. So yeah, David got the Spark amp and he's still waiting on that. So that's the inside for there. And then David says the Spark amp, middle of June to ship. That's cool, man. I think that's going to be great. I'm excited to hear it. I'll be down in Florida hopefully in mid-September. So maybe we'll get to try that out sometime. Cheeto's here. Hey, Cheeto. Cheeto says, hey, guys, what cables do you recommend? I always buy the cheapest. I know, horrible decision. Not always. I've had some cheap cables that worked really nice. Most of the time, the cheap ones I've had would break and I'd have to fix them, and they never worked right. The cheapest ones that I'm using now are GLS Audio. I don't know if is that upside down? I think that's upside down. GLS Audio, and that is, I think I get them on Amazon. Let me check. Yeah, you can get them on Amazon. GLS Audio. They sell all sorts of different types of cable, but let's see with the guitar. This one here, this is a long one. This is like a 20 foot. It's like $25 for the longer ones. You can get a 15 foot for $17. This is prime, and these are the tweed cloth ones. You can get just the regular ones a little bit cheaper, but they've been solid. I've never had to fix them. The jack works really nice. My guitar is loose, but the cables works fine. And I've used them on gigs, and they come with those little. Let me show you. I'll show you real quick. They come with these little Velcro holders right there, and they're not super expensive. I used what was the name of that? I used some cable that I got from a pickup builder, and what was his name? He passed away. It'll come to me in a little bit. But I used to use some fancy cable that was very thin, and it would get stuck a lot. It would get some of the fancier cable comes extremely thin. It gets wrapped around your feet when you're trying to play. It's kind of like spaghetti almost, and it would break easily. It sounded fantastic when it was working, but I like to have a heavier cable just for when it gets stepped on or playing or all those kind of things. So yeah, I just go with these. There's nothing special. It's just a good cable. It works. GLS from Amazon. That's the one I've been using lately. And he also says, I got my first distortion pedal coming in the mail. So excited. Just need the cables now. Yeah. Used to be everybody would use like Radio Shack cables and stuff, which were just terrible. And you never get through a gig without hearing. Dean says that's the chord I have, and his work great. Yeah, they're good. They're solid. They're pretty solid. David says I just got an older Jackson guitar today from my neighbor. Very similar to my Ibanez with the Floyd Rose. Got to learn how to do a setup on it and change strings. Yeah, I don't have anything with the Floyd Rose now, or else I would put something up there to show you, because it's a process. It's a little bit more involved than a Strat. Won't feel bad if I mess it up. Not gonna mess up my new guitar. That's the thinking. That's the way to do it. Work on the free ones, man, or the pawn shop ones. Okay, so I'm gonna check out. We did the click and save knob, and here's one that Chris put up about Alex Lifeson, and he's talking about the death of Neil Peart, is how I understand it. Growing up, everybody said Peart. That's Peart, I think. And it says, since the death of Neil Peart, the drummer for Rush, in January, after a prolonged battle with brain cancer, his bandmates, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, have been relatively silent when it comes to their past music, as well as the potential for any new work in the future. Regarding whether he and Lee talked about getting back on stage, he said, not really. It's been difficult. He's played very little guitar. He doesn't feel inspired and motivated. And it was the same thing when Peart's daughter died in a car accident in 1997. He didn't really play for about a year. And he's just not in his heart right now to play. So, I'm going... He says, I don't know if the motivation is there for us to really do anything now. We're certainly proud of our track record and we still love music, but it's different now. It's tough, man. It's tough when you have somebody in a band who passes away. He's a kid. He was a kid when I played with him. But the drummer that I play with, who's passed away, is a lot younger than me. And we weren't like friends or anything like that. We were just in a band. But something like this where they were friends and they had a big band that toured all over the world and everybody knows them. It's got to be devastating. It's got to be devastating. The next thing we have is Prince's iconic and rare Blue Angel Cloud guitar heads to auction. Let's take a look at that guitar. See if we get a picture of it. Oh, okay. See if we can get a picture here. So that one, I know that guitar with the longer top horn there, and it says it's expected to go for at least $500,000, and it says it's the most significant ever. Okay, when Doves Cry hit Maker's iconic Blue Angel Cloud guitar from '84 hit the block as part of Julian's Auctions Music Icons event. The auction house originally did not know they had and believed it would go for $100,000, but know what they had, but after finding out the history of it, they believe it will go for $500,000. That would be a cool guitar to own, right there. Don't have the $500,000 though. We've got a few more here, and then I'm gonna go over and we'll just hang out. We'll take some questions or hang out and talk about some things. In the same place, Kurt Cobain's guitar is also set to fetch $1 million at auction. It's his MTV Unplugged acoustic Martin, and that was a big thing, man. That when that Unplugged performance came out, that was the biggest one of all the Unplugged performances. Brennan says group buy. That's right. We're gonna chip in. Evan's good for 20. Let's see. Yeah, so, and Dean's in for 25. Okay, so what do we got? We got 20. $20, not 20 large. Yeah, we got it. I got it. So we got 20. Dean's in for 25. I'm sure Brendan's in for at least 20, 25, right? So we got about $75 there. I'll put in 25, so we got 100. Yeah, group buy right there. I think we need to start playing the lottery together. Kurt's Martin's pretty cool. Has the pickup. Yep, it's that one. It's that one for sale for $1 million. Let's see if they have a picture of it. Yeah, there it is right there. That one with the pickup mounted by the bridge, and then the another one mounted by the neck, and then that looks like a sound hole pickup too. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And let's see. Anything else about that one? Oh, his cardigan sold for $334,000. So that would be a good twofer right there. Get the green cardigan with the acoustic. And you have the Kurt Cobain ensemble for the MTV Unplugged. Let's see here. Now the next thing, I'm going to put this up on the screen to show you guys what we're talking about here. So we got Gibson TV. Gibson TV, they've started their own online network with original series. There's one called Riff Lords. This is where artists teach you how to play their iconic riffs. And so the new episode they've got is Phil X and Richie Faulkner streaming now. So I didn't know about this until recently, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. So there's Phil X right there. Their Gibson original shows stream for free on Gibson.com. And if you subscribe to Gibson TV on YouTube, they'll let you know when new ones are available. So we've got he's going to go through all these Bon Jovi ones. And then let's see here, Richie Faulkner, she's going to go through some Priest, Hellbent for Leather. You got another thing coming. So awesome, man. Gibson, way to go, Gibson, shelling out the money, the copyright money there. But there's a lot of other stuff on the Gibson TV too. I've got another one that looks pretty interesting to me. Let's see if I bring this up here. Okay, here we go. So Gibson TV is got another show called My First Gibson, where artists tell the story behind their first guitar. And this has got Mike Ness, Jeff Garland, Lee Ving, Steve Caballero, Gilby Clark, Tom Kiefer. Cool. So I guess they're talking about, they must be talking about just their first Gibson, maybe not their first guitar. Not a lot of people started off with a Gibson, but so anyway, pretty neat. There's Gilby. There's Tom Kiefer. Pretty cool, man. So if you guys are interested, Gibson's got their own channel full of content that has a lot of Gibson stuff in it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, back to the chat. Brennan's can do 2025. Evan says we only have 499,900 to go. Pretty neat. Neat guitar, and he bought that cardigan in the thrift store. That's a serious price upgrade from thrift store to auction. David asks, is that free? The Gibson should be free for everybody. It seems like they're talking about a lot of Gibson stuff, so they would probably make that free for everybody. But I'll check that out later on. Okay, so here we are. There's a little news stuff. Very unstructured for today. In fact, if it wasn't for Chris, it would have been completely unstructured. But something I'd like to get into, and I'll do a little prep next time as we go through. But some neat stuff. The slide was pretty cool to me. The way the slide worked with the pedal, and then you could add the volume pedal in and all those things. I like that. Pretty good. The one I would probably get is the knob, the pot with the little center detent, so you could know exactly where you like to roll your volume down to. To me, that would be really usable. So pretty neat. So how you guys doing? I hope everybody's doing good. I know we've had a lot of unrest. I really wish everybody would get along and people would treat each other with respect. And I'm the least political person that you'd ever meet. I'm very focused on what I'm doing at the time. It's not really my bag, but just wish we didn't have to go through things like this and people could just all be respectful of each other. So, and I hope that none of you have been impacted by any violence that's been going on in your places. I know we have a few in New York, which has been pretty rough. Atlanta for me, but where we are here, everybody's being respectful of each other here in Macon, so it's been pretty nice. And I'm glad that I haven't heard of anyone having any problems up to this point. So if you have, let me know about that. I know where I'm moving to, they've had a few demonstrations, but they have a curfew. David's in Tampa. Do you have a curfew there as well? Because I know Orlando has a curfew still. We don't have a curfew here, but Atlanta's, I think, was 9 o'clock. David says we had some violence in St. Pete. Okay. So I hope everybody's doing okay. And Evan says a few employees have expressed concern at protests in their areas, but everything's been pretty much peaceful. That's wonderful. So where we're at now is, and for me, I was so focused on the coronavirus stuff, and then when this happened, it took me a while to kind of wrap my head around it. But I'm I get to the point where I just wish people would treat each other with respect. That's just where I'm at there. What we're going to do this week? I have Dean says Minnesota's been a mess. Yes, all of your stores are boarded up. That's right, Dean. You're really in the middle of it. So really hoping everything goes nice and smooth for you. Hope you aren't the on the receiving end of some of that stuff there. So my thoughts are with you, Dean. But we're going to move forward here, and the coronavirus thing seems to be going down in most places. People are going back to work in most places, so the economy's slowly going up. People are slowly going out, and we'll see after all the protests if the coronavirus numbers go up or not. That's kind of where I'm at, but we're very hopeful here. We are very hopeful. Dean says moving to Maine in 3 weeks. Perfect timing. That's good. Well, I guess maybe 3 weeks seems like a long time when we're dealing with all this stuff. So I think hopefully that it's time to let ourselves start reacting to what's going on, and start moving forward. And that's what I'm doing. As far as coaching, I will be getting the coaching videos out tomorrow. And welcome. We have Dean and Kevin have already put their sections up in the coaching section. I think Joe should be joining us soon. I put his up in the coaching section. I'm looking forward to that. I have one or two more people that were on the list. And after that, I'm going to start. I want to fill up to about 10 to 12 new coaching students to join us. And once we get that filled, I'll close it for a while again. And the thing that I do want to bring to everyone's attention who are in the coaching section, and I'll get it right here. Here we go. If you noticed, we've got a new section, and that is called the Woodshed. Okay? And let me read to you what it says. This is a forum just for coaching students to introduce themselves, hang out, post interesting guitar stuff, and feel free to say hi to the other students. So we've got a good group and lots of having fun and getting along. And so I thought that it would be a good idea to have our own little place. It's looking like September, whenever my move is final, that's when we're going to open up the academy to a lot of other people. And at that point, there's a whole community there. But I wanted to have something just for the coaching students right here. So we're going to call it the Woodshed. And let's take a look. We've got 2 posts at this point. Kevin's here. Thank you, Kevin, for being the first to post in there. Josh said the Woodshed. I like his good name for it. And I put a little, hey, coaching students, so happy to be here and meet all of you. So keep an eye. This way we don't have to go back and forth between the coaching and then the community section. There's something right here for the people who are involved in coaching. And I think it's going to be cool. David says, oh boy, I heard you never want to be taken to the Woodshed. Well, yeah, it depends on, I guess, you know, the woodshed is the in the positive way. It's the place that where you get a lot of practicing done, not in a negative way there. So yeah, man, that's for you guys to just hang out with if you would like to. We've added Kevin, Dean, and Joe are down at the bottom right now. And I've got a few more coming in. Hopefully by by this evening, so that I can get the Saturday videos done. I'll have a video for everybody tomorrow. If you're just new to it, it'll be an introductory video. And those, everybody here knows, I have to takes a week or two to really figure out right where we're at and the best place to start. And so it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that tomorrow morning. And like I said, if you know anybody or if anyone who's watching here is interested in coaching, get in touch with me soon while we still have the spots available, because I'm going to, after 10 or 12, I'm going to close it down again. Let's see here. And then the last thing, David brought it up already, is do we have a theme for the Saturday live show? I don't have a theme yet. And but David, we haven't seen you in a while. How would you like to hang out on the live show tomorrow? That'd be fun. And let's see here. I'm going back through the chat. And I don't know. I'm going to think about it today. I've got some, actually, when I was working on worksheets earlier today, and just some ideas came out for the podcast for next week. And since we had done a lot of arpeggios this week in arpeggio work, I started to think, well, I'd like to go back and help people who are really having a hard time with YouTube and moving forward. I was just thinking about that, and I started thinking, well, what is it that most people, when you get to the point where you're really playing, what are you doing most of the time? What are the guys who are out there playing and out there, in bands and do that? What is the majority of what you do? And this is not an official poll, but in my head, 90% of the songs that you're using when you're playing leads, you're using the big four, which is major or minor or major pentatonic or minor pentatonic. And the disconnect when people start as beginners, and then you start to want to do all the really cool and different and odd things that you can do on guitar. And you hear people say, well, I know this and I know that, and but I want to move on. I want to do some modes or advanced stuff. I want to do some really advanced things in my playing. And just knowing the scales and rhythm and chords, that's not really enough for them. And just because you know, this is especially where Chris and Evan are progressing through there. They've had the major scales, they've had all those patterns and stuff, but just because you know them, it doesn't mean that's enough. Just being able to play them isn't enough. It doesn't mean you can use them effectively just because you know them. And we start to see as we go on that these are the things you're spending the majority of your time playing. Bar chords, open position chords, major, minor, major pentatonic, and minor pentatonic. That's what you spend all of your time doing. And people who are getting over on YouTube, trying to learn this and learn that, learn this and learn that, they spend a little bit of time doing those things and then they move on. And so this is kind of the theme of where I'm going for this week. Regular practice on the things that you're going to be playing and getting better and better and better at them. It's not just enough to know two positions of the major scale. It's not just enough to know all of the positions. Just because you can go up and down all your scales doesn't mean that they're going to translate into great playing or good song. And I started thinking, we talked about gear syndrome, collecting of the gear. It makes you feel good, right? But it doesn't actually make you play better. It's just kind of the same thing. It's like collecting pieces of knowledge here. Though I can play the harmonic minor scale and the diminished scale. I can do all these things, but when it comes time to play the song, they're not your own. You haven't assembled. You've just played them and moved on to a next thing. So I guess repetition. What a big part of being a musician. What repetition is. So. Anyway, that's something that I'm working on for the podcast for next week, and so those are my ideas. So let's see. Chris popped in. He said, "Just finished work. Had the stream on in the background. Enjoyed the gear and news. Would have liked to have been able to chat." And would love one of those LTD 87s. Yeah, I need it. I need a good shred guitar. I don't have any right now, and it might be a good idea. And Kevin says, I started adding those arpeggios in my improvising this week. Very cool. Great. I'm glad it helped, man. And Chris is busy shift, and he's cooked. All right. It's the weekend, and David's let the weekend start. That's right. And then it says, knowing the patterns was like having a toolkit. You have to learn how to use them. And David went back and listened to the podcast twice this week. Has a much better understanding about what arpeggios are. Yeah, it takes a little bit. But everything, you've got the major scale, and from that you can get all your other scales. You either take notes away to get pentatonic scales, or add notes. Or not add notes, or start on different notes to get modes. And then you've got, from your major scale, you've got your chord. The chord comes from the scale. Just say on the one, first, the third, and the fifth note. Those notes together make the chord. First note, third note, fifth note. And then you can make other chords from all the other notes in the scale. And then those are the chords that sound good together when you write songs. What was that? 15 seconds. There's music. There's guitar playing in 15 seconds. But arpeggios are just chords that you play one note at a time. So learning arpeggios and learning how to build chords, it's the same thing. The only difference is how you apply it after you play them. So yeah, these things, we'll just keep repeating these things. We're just going to keep going. And when it's time for you to really to make the most of those, you'll have a solid knowledge of them already, and you'll be ahead of the game. Okay. Well, Chris, I'm glad you're here, man. Have a nice rest of the night. I'm going to sign off in a minute or two. And, the news thing this week, thanks to Chris, happened. But maybe next week it'll be a little more polished, and we'll get. I'll stop searching around for stuff and have it all prepared, where I can just hit one button and everything comes up right there. So, and I'm actually going to I may contact some of these people who are sending me things and see if there's some other folks that have press releases that are coming out too. So, I think it could be cool. Maybe it may be something that's different that we do that maybe brings some new viewers in. I don't know. Okay, guys and any girls today? I haven't seen any in the chat, but if you're watching, hey there. Chris is going to play a melody or two tonight. All right. We'll have a good one tonight. Thank you, Chris and David and Evan and Kevin and Dean, Brennan. What else do we have here? And Cheeto is here. That's awesome, man. Good to see you. Kevin, if I didn't say you before, I don't. And Mark was here. Thanks for hanging out, Mark. Mike was here too early. I missed that one. Good to see you, man. And thanks for hanging out with us, Mark. I appreciate that. Coke was here too. So we had a bunch of folks. John was here. Josh. Getting a good group, man. That was awesome. And everybody tried to guess my t-shirt today. I fooled you. I got the white V-neck here. All right. Well, guys, have a great Friday night. I'm going to see you tomorrow. David's going to join me. Maybe he said maybe the Dave and Evan show. If Evan wants to hang out too, he's more than welcome to. Anybody else? Evan says I'll be there if you want me. Yeah, we want you. Always want you, man. I don't know what the topic's going to be yet. I'll figure it out after I do the lessons in the morning. And Evan R is here too, man. Great to see you. And I'll be up bright and early working on videos tomorrow. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out and have a good Friday. Bye-bye.